That's where I noticed that kind of feeling. That's where I noticed that kind of feeling. That's where I noticed that kind of feeling. That's where I noticed that kind of feeling.
The way that you feel.
That kind of feeling.
The way that you think.
That kind of feeling.
The way that you feel.
That kind of feeling.
The way that you think.
That kind of feeling.
If you had an opportunity of winding back the clock, say 20 years, would you take that opportunity or would you not take that opportunity?
Life is much more lively. Colors are stronger. You don't get bored so easy. You really enjoy life much more.
It makes you a better mother, makes you a better wife, makes you a better employee, makes you a better friend. You know, just makes you a better person for everybody.
It's a thing that men have been concerned with for 100,000 years. Feeding other men and attracting women.
Going through my bloodstream.
Imagine a drug that made you younger, richer, sexier, and all you had to do was rub it on. Believe the hype, and it already exists. Testosterone, the male sex hormone. In America, the stuff that makes you male is on sale in a tube. It's the fastest growing smart drug, with sales topping $200 million. This summer, testosterone gel will be available on prescription in Britain. The testosterone revolution is coming. Will you be able to resist? Wonder drug or not, testosterone is a critical ingredient for life.
It's a hormone. A hormone is a chemical messenger.
And it begins to shape who we are before we're even born.
It is the essence of maleness.
It is what makes you a male.
Testosterone turns the fetus into a boy and the boy into a man. But it's just as crucial for women.
People think that testosterone is primarily a male hormone and that's it. That's not true.
Testosterone is important in women throughout the female lifespan.
It's in much, much less amounts. It's about 1/10 as that produced by a male.
For our ancestors, testosterone was the key to survival. It's what put a caveman on top.
In our evolutionary past, high testosterone men were dominant. They got the mates, they got the antelopes, they did all the warfare. You know, these were very useful guys to kind of have around.
Testosterone gives you muscles, aggression, and the will to win, priming your mind and body for battle. Professor Jim Dabbs is the granddaddy of testosterone research. He's convinced the male hormone remains vital for success today.
It's a combative orientation. It's a readiness to deal with another person in front of you. It's a thing that men have been concerned with for 100,000, many years of defeating other men and attracting women.
When men go head to head, Dabbs believes it's testosterone that decides the winner.
Testosterone ahead of time gives you a frame of mind which makes you more effective in the contest.
I want to win, basically. No matter who I'm with, I want to be better than that person. That's just how I've always been from a young age, and it's just always with me.
Matt Skelton's fighting to be British heavyweight champion. Tonight is a vital bout. So far, he's never lost a fight. But his Russian opponent, Alexei Komatin, is an unknown quantity. If the science is right, their hormones will decide who wins. You can measure a man's testosterone by testing his saliva. We took samples from each fighter at the start of the night.
I think I've got quite a high testosterone level. Just through the sports I want to be involved in and just through my general outlook on things in life. So yeah, I think relatively high.
High or low, a man's T level never stays still.
There is a distinct rhythm to the amount of male hormone in the circulation.
It peaks in the morning, one reason why men wake up with an erection.
Between 7 and 9 in the morning, you tend to reach the highest levels, and then it will gradually fade off during the day.
By this time of night, a normal man's blood contains anywhere between 100 and 600 units of testosterone per litre. Alexi's level is 260, Matt's slightly higher at 280. At this stage, they're both bang in the middle of the range. As the fight gets closer, their levels start to change.
Testosterone is going to rise prior to a competition, especially if the competition is an important one.
Their testosterone keeps going up. The man whose level climbs the most will win.
The person who's most psyched up, the most ready to go, has no qualms, no doubts, no hesitations. They're just going out to kill the other, deal with the other person.
Matt's done it. In theory, his testosterone should be rocketing. But was it really the hormone that put him on top? Straight after the fight, we check their levels again.
What's happening inside?
I feel really good. I feel like I want to do it again, if that makes any sense. Yeah, just feel really, really good.
From 280 at the start of the night, Matt's testosterone is now an unbelievable 810. Alexis has dived to 120.
When you win a contest, your testosterone rises. When you lose a contest, your testosterone drops.
The body's reward for victory is releasing even more testosterone. And the hormone high should help Matt win again.
I think that testosterone is certainly one of the factors that makes us a winner. If it increases assertiveness, confidence, and dominance, it's bound to be a factor in winning.
And not just in the boxing ring. Scientists say testosterone creates winners in the most competitive areas of life.
We can see testosterone behaviour in sportsmen, in businessmen, in politicians. You know, anywhere where you need that drive, that single-minded purpose to get on. I think that people who are high in testosterone, they look for jobs, they look for occupations that will enable them to revel in these competitive games, if you like. And will, you know, they can compete and be dominant and be assertive in that arena that they choose to be.
If testosterone makes you a big hitter in the boardroom, it also makes you a big hit in the bedroom. Nick Neve has proved high T men are still the most attractive, even to modern women.
Testosterone sculpts male bodies. It does so at puberty. So the male is giving off very strong cues as to his level of testosterone, if you like, via these physical characteristics.
Neve wanted to show that women pick up on these signals when they pick up men. He took 50 random blokes and measured their testosterone levels.
You can tell how much testosterone somebody has been exposed to in the womb by simply looking at the fingers. A typical male fourth finger is longer than his second finger, and this is because testosterone in the womb stimulates the growth of the fourth finger.
74.97.
So the more testosterone, the bigger the fourth finger, the ring finger, in relation to the second finger.
Can women really tell, without measuring your fingers, if you've got high T?
If you were looking for a guy with high T levels, possibly the first thing you'd look at is his facial characteristics. Has he got a big square jaw? Has he got big brow ridges here? Has he got a classic V-shaped body, i.e. broad shoulders, tapering down to a kind of a narrower waist?
Neve asked the women to rate the men for dominance and masculinity and give them each a score.
It does make a difference to come close up.
They also had to choose which man was most sexy
I like a bit of stubble.
and who'd make the best father.
It's the ones that jump out at me.
That's harsh. That was what you put your first, the numbers.
The results were conclusive. It really was the men with the highest T levels and the longest ring fingers who were voted most masculine and dominant.
What we found was that there was a relationship between finger length ratio. The more testosterone you'd been exposed to as a fetus, the higher the ratings of dominance, masculinity females were giving male faces. So it seems rather incredible that what happened to you, 20 years ago before you were born can then have an impact upon how people perceive you to be later on.
Including how sexy they find you. As well as being more masculine and dominant, the high T man was also voted the sexiest.
I got the impression that he was probably quite sure about himself and stuff like that. So I thought that would make quite. I thought he was probably quite a nice, strong character.
In a confrontation, I just thought he'd handle it very well.
He's risky, he's confident, he's cocky. That might be great for a short-term relationship, but you might not want that for a long-term relationship.
When it comes to choosing a dad, it's the boys at the bottom of the scale who get the girls' vote.
Oh,
I liked him.
Now, my
instantly
went to this guy. I would have liked a little bit more hair on the chest.
So, if you're looking around for having children, looking for a high testosterone man might not be the best thing to do.
I reckon he'd be the sort of person who I'd go out with, but number one's the person I'm instantly attracted to.
High T males report having sex earlier. They report having more of it. They report having more extra marital affairs.
Cheers, lads.
Some females find that to be a very attractive proposition.
Yeah, right, well done, mate.
I think that testosterone is a hidden force that shapes our society, whether we like it or not. Males are male and females are female, and they want what they've always wanted, and they get what they've always wanted. I don't think that people change to the slightest degree. I guess that we are exactly the same as we were millions and millions of years ago.
Except now, testosterone comes in a tube. For better or worse, we could all be high T.
Dave a little bit, 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 Dave a little bit.
I kind of call it the yes hormone. I call testosterone the yes hormone.
Dr. Teddy Rinker is convinced testosterone turns you into a winner.
I can make this happen. This is something I should do. I can do it. I want to do it. It's me. And feeling your creativity and wanting to see it happen.
Rinker tries to combat the effects of aging. She claims to have dramatic results with testosterone. Men's testosterone levels decline naturally with age. Rinker believes that's why many powerful older men feel they're losing their edge.
If a man wants to keep up with the younger men who have all the ideas, If they want to be one of those guys that's coming up with the ideas and keep their spot in the corporate ladder, I think testosterone's a good drug to consider.
The idea that topping up on testosterone helps men stay younger is catching on fast. Last year, sales of testosterone creams and gels doubled in the US. Most patients, like dot-com millionaire Larry Roberts, have no intention of aging gracefully.
Larry asked me out off and on over the years, and I wasn't particularly sexually attracted to him. And then I really started getting turned on to him after he started taking testosterone. His masculine energy greatly increased, and he became suddenly a lot more attractive to me. And I just zeroed in on him, and I think testosterone had a part in that.
65-year-old Larry is no ordinary veteran of Silicon Valley. 30 years ago, he helped invent a piece of technology he knew would revolutionize the world: the internet. Now he's equally convinced hormone replacement therapy will transform old age, especially when it comes to sex.
It's probably, in my mind, the only thing that allows you to have very long orgasms. If you don't have enough testosterone, you just come quickly, and that's the end of it. If you have enough, I can go on for an hour.
Yes, he really did say hour-long orgasms. But Larry's always been a high achiever. Now, at the age where most men get ready to retire, he's starting up a brand new business.
Larry's, I think, changed when he was taking testosterone. He was building a company, raising funds in a recessed economy for a startup. He raised $120 million for his company in his last round of funding, which is incredible.
I've raised more venture capital funds in the last 2 years than anybody else in history.
He's generally not a knock-down-your-door salesman type of person.
Route the flow and store the information.
He's an engineer. He's not a braggart type.
I can keep up with the 25-year-olds, the 30-year-olds and the 40-year-olds, the 50-year-olds I'm way ahead of. The network can be very cheap and very simple.
But still, he had to keep knocking down those doors and presenting to raise the funds in a recession economy. Took a lot of energy and a lot of motivation and a lot of drive. And he attributes that to testosterone.
At this point, I feel that I'm still so young that I see no reason to retire in the foreseeable future.
Larry has no plans to retire. He has no plans to die either.
I expect that I could live, to the age of 120 without any deterioration. I would still like to be creating and creative and having great sex and great time in my life.
High testosterone may make your life better. It will almost certainly make it shorter.
If you look at high testosterone now, it's a lethal quality. High testosterone men don't live as long as low testosterone men. If you want to live a long time, you get castrated and you live 14 years longer. A very quiet 14 years.
It's not just Californian tycoons who are refusing to slide into old age. British men are following the American trend. More and more middle-aged men want treatment for a condition that used to be passed off as a joke: the male menopause.
It's like having lead boots. Everything aches. Everything. It's sort of like real effort to do anything. It's like carrying a sack of potatoes on your shoulder. Wherever you go, everything seems to slow up. This is before testosterone. And this is after testosterone.
If you can make yourself feel better, get HRT for women, why can't men have the same and make them feel better.
It takes them years and a lot of guts to actually pluck up the courage and go to talk to a doctor about how they don't feel a man anymore.
It's still a controversial therapy, yet 55-year-old Jeff Lammert doubles his testosterone every 6 months with an implant. Right now, he's running low.
Tomorrow morning I'll be buzzing like a chainsaw.
Many GPs don't have time or aren't interested, and it's very easy with the symptoms of testosterone deficiency just to say, well, you're getting old, it's your age.
But it just gives me that extra little to get up and go and be competitive. It gives you that competitive oomph in the morning. And it lasts all day, obviously. It's very difficult at night to calm down. Yeah, my wife would bear me out on that one. I don't just mean what you're thinking either.
Up till now, you couldn't get testosterone cream or gel in the UK. The treatment here is more brutal.
It's like having a tooth extracted. It's a couple of hours later, you're soon back in the swing of things. A little bit of sharp pain, but that's it. You know?
Going through the same site as before, that stops the scarring.
It's a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm getting used to it now. For a few seconds of discomfort, it gives me such a good quality of life.
It's the same dose as before.
Jeff has 6 testosterone pellets inserted.
I feel a bit more pushing, Jeff.
It starts with a rush. It's like a rush of hotness throughout your body. Not hot as in sweat, hot as it's coming from the core of your body. And it's a complete rush. The next day, I noticed a change. There's a bit more spring in my stride. My mind was clearer, and I thought, well, this is only the first day really this thing has been in me. And gradually, it sort of dawned on me. I thought, well, you know, what have I been missing for the past few years? Well, you know, how long has this been happening to me? And it's a complete rush.
Whatever the benefits, Jeff will never get treated on the NHS because his levels are borderline normal.
It comes to £775. And it's a complete rush. Every penny. Every penny. Before I had the implants, it was sort of, I suppose sex became a little bit boring for me. It was a bit of repetitive type of thing. But after it, it's pure rocket fuel. It's a complete rush. And it's a complete rush. If you're looking for it, it's sort of, it's on the menu. It's right at the top of the menu again. That hunter thing comes in. The hunter, you know, you're looking. And you tend to fancy yourself a little bit. Like you think, you know, your mind's back when you were 20-odd. It does put you in a little bit of a Walter Mitty world. And, you know, it's just sort of automatic. It's just almost as if it's telling every part of your body to perform better. It's as if it's telling, like, your liver, your kidneys, your heart. Like, before I had it, run up the stairs, I used to get to the top, I'd be puffed out. But now I can run down and run back up again.
It all sounds too good to be true, and most British doctors say that it is. They think aging men are clutching at straws.
It is very tough getting old, and you get all these symptoms. And here's the explanation. It's a low testosterone, and grab it, it's a magic bullet. It all goes away, and therefore people are going to be tempted by that.
However, raising your testosterone artificially high carries serious risks.
There are well-documented cases now of prostate cancer in younger people who've been taking high levels of testosterone. And there's also quite good evidence of increase in fat levels in the blood. We've certainly seen heart attacks and premature death.
More and more middle-aged men are gambling with their health to reclaim a bit of youth.
Dave a little bit, Dave a little bit, Dave a little bit.
But menopausal men are just the tip of the iceberg. Europe's most radical hormone specialist is asking, why wait to get old? You can enjoy all the benefits of a testosterone fix right now. He's pioneering treatment in men as young as 30, from the moment their level starts falling.
Every 4 seconds, a man is losing one cell who can produce testosterone. It is a sort of epidemic. It's a natural epidemic. It's something that goes with life, but that doesn't mean we have to accept this. And I think at least between age 35 and 40 years, most men should think about starting to take some very small doses of testosterone.
Hertoghe claims testosterone can make life better when you're still in your prime. He says it increases vitality and well-being, even in younger men.
You see the whole life with more colors. The red is more red, the green is more green. It's a very pleasant feeling.
Dave, a little bit. Dave, a little bit.
If a man has a difficulty to fall in love, they are usually very low in testosterone, and when you increase that level, they fall in love much easier.
Hertoghe is 45. He's been self-medicating testosterone for 15 years.
The most important reason men go to take on testosterone is often the sex. I myself am treated with testosterone. I started at age 31 years. I checked my levels. They were starting to get a little low. And I increased them back to a level that was average for the age of 25, 30 years.
He says the best thing about topping up on testosterone is the boost it gives his marriage.
I had my own example. I have now and then quarrels like in every couple with my wife, and when I was in a quarrel before, during 8 years, each time we had a quarrel, I want to slam the door, to go away, don't see her again, and things like that. I could rather see the defaults than the attractiveness. And when I put on this testosterone, well, when we had a quarrel, I found her so extremely attractive. It was difficult for me in those situations not to get her in my arms. So I must say it works very well for love. Just to see her uncover and dress herself is very difficult to resist.
Hertoghe believes the male hormone could even help cut the divorce rate. He claims to have rescued relationships with testosterone alone.
I think that a lot of couples that want to divorce and to separate because of sex problems or low love problems are just hormone deficient persons.
Testosterone isn't for men only. Its most dramatic effect is as an aphrodisiac for women.
My wife takes testosterone, I have a sister who takes testosterone, even my mother takes some small doses of testosterone.
It's the most surprising aspect of the testosterone revolution. Women are taking it too, and seeing the world through men's eyes.
The fact that I take testosterone helps me understand, I think has given me more insight on how men think, and I can understand why they think about sex all the time.
For a growing number of women in America, being more like a man is the most effective way to pep up your sex life.
I sometimes ask women, when was the last time you had a real long, nice, body-shaking orgasm? And some of them say, what's that?
If that's an experience thereafter, Teddy prescribes testosterone, usually in a cream.
This is a women's dose of testosterone. It's 4 milligrams per quarter teaspoon, which is a usual starting dose for a woman. It's a very small dose. I'll say you can reserve a little bit to do what I call the dot technique. And that would be to save a little bit of your daily testosterone dose to use about an hour or two before sex, and put that on the clitoris and on the inside of the labia. But it also increases the intensity of arousal in the genital area so that you have a much more deep and intense orgasm. And it, over time, increases the size of the clitoris so that it's much more available for stimulation and satisfying orgasms. And so I said, just try this for a couple of weeks and see what happens. And they come back with a big grin on their face. And I actually had one woman just last week come in and say, you sure were right about that testosterone. I was as horny as a mink and felt great. And she said it's saved her marriage.
Save a little bit, save a little bit, save a little bit, save a little bit, save a little bit.
The light went on when Dr. Rinker told me what the problem was. And then when I started seeing a difference, finally, I was going to be happy with myself.
After 8 years of marriage and 2 children, Grace's libido had hit rock bottom.
It's hard to believe it's the same person. I think there's a sparkle to me now that there wasn't then.
What if you have to go back to being that person?
I don't think I'd be happy.
A lot of women have very low testosterone levels, especially if they've had children, because prolactin, which goes up and it enables us to produce breast milk, drops the testosterone level down to 0.
It was very unusual for me not to be interested in sex. Didn't even care. I never had it again, really.
Grace's T level was so low, she needed double the normal dose. Cream wasn't strong enough.
The needle is very thin, so it doesn't hurt. I felt the difference within 24 hours. I felt, immediate effects.
I didn't know what she was up to. I thought she was taking some type of steroid or something to, get more leaner and stronger.
I started having sexual thoughts and starting feeling horny or, that kind of feeling. You started feeling really sexual.
8 hours after the injection, she's, seems like she's more enthusiastic, more stimulated.
I'm not really keen on taking drugs. I don't want to have to take it. So I've tried to stop taking it, but because I notice such a difference in the way I feel, that I have to take it again.
There's been precious little research into the effects of testosterone on women. But one Dutch scientist has investigated how the male hormone influences female sexual response. Adrienne Tweeten gave extra testosterone to women with normal levels to see if they got more turned on. They took either a 0.5 milligram dose of testosterone or a placebo.
These subjects were all interested in sex. This was the first time we did an experiment with normal levels of testosterone and normal sexual interest. There was nothing wrong with these women.
After 4 hours, they entered the lab, where they were shown a porn film. Tweeten measured how aroused they were with a probe inserted into the vagina.
We zijn klaar om het experiment te beginnen. Normally, there will be an increase in sexual arousal in the testosterone condition. This increase was much higher than in the placebo condition.
The experiment proved even a normal woman will get more turned on with testosterone.
I felt the arousal, of course, in my vagina, but also in my heartbeat and in my temperature.
We saw also an increase in sexual lust a few hours after that testosterone peak.
For science, this is a dramatic breakthrough. Testosterone is a proven aphrodisiac. It actually makes women randy.
I think you must feel it before you believe it, because it's such a difference, but it has such a big effect.
Is this every bloke's dream come true? Just add testosterone and no woman will resist you. Real life just isn't as simple as a porn film.
For men, I think it's more physical for a man. It's like scratching an itch for a man.
Boosting a woman's sex drive won't necessarily sort out her relationship.
He still doesn't get as often as he'd like. And that's not because of testosterone, though. It's because, we're having marriage problems. We're not getting along in our marriage. It's not because of testosterone. It's not because I'm not interested in sex. I'm just not interested in sex with him. No amount of testosterone is going to make me interested. It's helped me become a stronger woman. I definitely feel more that I stand up to him more now than I used to, definitely.
Women in the UK are also stumbling on this surprising side effect. Yes, testosterone makes you feel sexy, but it also makes you feel powerful.
I have patients who may have started testosterone because of poor sexual response, but they realize that the major benefit to them is the psychological boost they get in terms of being able to cope more effectively in a male-dominated environment.
Women over and over tell me how much it's improved their energy, how much it's improved their motivation, how much it's improved their willingness to volunteer, to step forward, to take command of a situation.
British women are even using the male hormone to storm the last bastion of machismo, Westminster.
I've seen women in high-profile women in political life who felt that they've not been able to cope so well with their potentially very dominant male colleagues, particularly in the House of Commons, and that they needed, their testosterone on a regular basis to enable them to shout back effectively.
Even if you're not an MP, for ambitious women in Europe and America, here's a drug that promises the masculine focus and aggression you need to get to the top.
You have more energy, you have more power. You have more energy, you have more power. You have more energy.
I take testosterone when I have to act like a man. It's amazing to see how you can be like a man for a few hours and to stay a real woman after. And in some occasion in your life you need it, then why don't we use it?
When Claude Mao started up her own company at 30, the pressure got too much.
I need a little support, and testosterone was for me a real support for my own business. What is the main effect, I think, for testosterone is the power you have in your mind and in your body. You see clearly what you want. And people around you, in your team, when you are working with a team or with clients who will account around you or people around you, they feel that.
But this masculine power can come at a price. A woman on testosterone may be more like a man, and not just on the inside.
She might well get deepening of her voice. She'll get very greasy hair, she'll get greasy skin. She might get hair growth around her nipples. And she might even get, if the levels are high enough, growth of the clitoris. Now, she might recognize what a normal-sized clitoris is, she might not, but you can get phenomenal enlargement of clitoris sometimes, the size of your little finger, from what should normally be something the size of your fingernail or slightly less. It can actually grow under the influence of male hormones.
It's kind of weighing the pros and cons of how beneficial is testosterone to the negative cosmetic effects, and do I want to do some cosmetic procedures to remove those negative cosmetic effects? Most women that get a really positive effect from testosterone are willing to have hair removal.
For a wife and mother like Claude, testosterone's worth the side effects. It's helped her solve the dilemma of working mothers everywhere.
I think testosterone is a part of the solution of the problem of what a woman has to achieve in her life between 25 and 45 years old.
It improves their energy, their ability to get a lot of work done, and then go home and take care of their family.
Could becoming more like a man be the real answer to having it all?
The world are so demanding to us. You know, we have a life with our family. We have a life for our husband. Works, leisure, sex. It's so many different activities, and testosterone give you maybe the power and energy to put your limits in all these little domains. We have to have the energy to choose and to put our limits and to stand up.
When I give a treatment of testosterone to my wife, she got much more directive. She's much less anxious, so she doesn't bother me with her excessive anxiety. She stays cooler, so it's much more pleasant to be with a person who keeps her head cooler. So I don't regret that she's a little bit more directive and a little bit the chief at home and things like that, because it's much easier as a relationship.
I think testosterone can help you to find a good choice you want in life.
But high testosterone is also linked to crime, violence, and premature death. Does society really need any more?
In terms of our Western society, modern life is a little bit flat, I think, in many ways. So maybe people are trying to get that testosterone buzz back again, if you like.
Testosterone seems the perfect 21st century drug. Stone Age thrills for a high-tech world.
I don't want to really be called a testosterone junkie, but you know, I'd hate to do without it. And if it makes me feel good, fair enough, I'm going to keep taking it.
If I couldn't take any more testosterone, I think I would feel sad, because it's a part of your life with more color, with more a vision of life, creative life, and yeah, I would be sad.
Until now, extra testosterone has been a luxury for the rich and powerful. Not anymore. US prescriptions for the drug are doubling each year, and like Viagra, a booming black market makes it readily available. Good or bad, testosterone use is now set to explode in Britain.
They're so convenient to use, absorb through your skin, they apparently give you nice normal levels in the bloodstream. But there's going to be a trend, I think, in the coming decades where the availability of androgens and testosterone in the kind of very convenient ways in which it can now be given will lead to its use, overuse, and almost certainly its abuse.
At our present level of understanding, I would be very nervous about a situation whereby people could be slapping on testosterone gel and God knows what's going to happen to their behaviour.
Once natural selection put a cap on hormone levels. Now we can cheat biology.
We're in a world now where we can change that and we can put it to any level we want to. I would not like to have a world where everybody was trying to raise their testosterone levels very high. I don't think it matters if a few people were to do it, but for large numbers of people to do it, I don't think it, I would not like that.
Even in smaller doses, monitored by a doctor, the male hormone has terrifying consequences.
It can be your best friend, but also can be your worst enemy.
Men on replacement therapy discover the drawbacks can be frightening.
There's one serious downside. It's when you drive on the public highway. That can be very dangerous. Because that competitiveness comes into play. You go back to being boy racer. Normally, the son pinches the old man's car. But with me, it was the old man taking out the son's car. It was reverse roles. I used to go down to Southend, down to on the seafront there, and so I used to hunt down the boy racers to sort of give you a little bit of a challenge. I was in the car and this guy come along beside me and he was on a Kawasaki motorcycle, which was quite a powerful thing, and he gave me a gesture to sort of race him. Well, that was like a red rag to a bull. It really was. So I did. And we took off down the A13 and I had complete tunnel vision. For those few minutes I was racing this guy on this motorbike, something took me over. That competitiveness completely took me over. My family didn't exist, I didn't exist, the world didn't exist, just to get past this bloke on a motorbike to prove a point. Prove a point that I'm on testosterone and I'll kill myself. I looked at the speedo and realised how fast I was going. And I just had a word with myself. I thought, what are you trying to do? It really gave me a shaker and I thought, crikey, is this what testosterone does to you? And that was one of the first things I learned. Keep that under control.
Not everyone with high testosterone can control these impulses.
There's a strong overall correlation between testosterone and antisocial behavior, with more testosterone associated with more delinquency, violent crime, misbehavior, marital discord, drug use, and other things. A lot of misbehaviors are related to testosterone.
Men already commit 95% of crime. If we start dosing up with extra testosterone, would that just mean more violence and chaos? According to scientists in Holland, the answer's definitely yes. Testosterone turns us into risk takers.
Testosterone targets the most primitive part of the brain. Our core emotional system misses the fight and flight. So that's what people are craving for.
Van Honk wanted to find out if even the most law-abiding members of society, women, would be tempted to behave more rashly under the influence of the male hormone. He gave half the women testosterone and the other half a placebo and set them a gambling task.
There are 4 decks of cards. 2 of them are risky, 2 of them are safe. They were only told that they had to win as much money as they could. That was the only thing. We wanted to test whether testosterone would induce more riskful behavior in the subjects and less sensitivity for the punishing consequences of their actions in the task.
Despite repeated losses and penalties, the women on testosterone are compelled to keep taking senseless risks.
They learned that the risky decks were giving them the punishments, but even the knowledge that they were going to be punished didn't help. They were still going for the risky decks.
With just a small dose of testosterone, the women's behavior was completely transformed. They became more dangerous and impetuous, basically more like men.
When they take testosterone, they think, I'm in control, which can be very dangerous.
But Van Honk is the first to admit testosterone's a double-edged sword. There are fantastic benefits as well as dangers.
Testosterone could be a factor in you becoming an antisocial person who gets in prison, or testosterone could be a factor in you being successful in your company. It could be both.
If testosterone can make you richer, sexier, and feel younger, it could also lead you to crime, violence, and an early death. Will we heed the warnings, or will Britain be next to fall for the testosterone revolution?
I don't want to live forever, but I'd rather 10 good years on testosterone than 30 bad years without it.
Yes, I'm going to do it because I can do it.